Hello everyone. In this video, you will learn more about pigment printing. So, what are pigments? Pigments are basically colored black, white or fluorescent particulate, organic or inorganic solids. These are generally insoluble in water and remain physically and chemically unaffected by the vehicle or substrate in which they are incorporated. So, if water is there, any other vehicle is there, or any substrate is there, it doesn't get affected by it. They alter the appearance by selective absorption and or by scattering of light. This is just surface deposition. So they alter the appearance. Pigments are usually used in the manufacturing of inks, paints, plastics or other polymeric materials. Pigments retain a crystal or particulate structure throughout the coloration process defined by CPMA, that is the Color Pigment Manufacturers Association. This slide shows the difference in pigment and dyes. Pigments generally do not have affinity to the fiber because these do not consist oxochrome in their structure. So, those do not show any affinity towards any fiber substrate. Pigments are insoluble in water. Pigments need binder for its fixation onto the fiber substrate. Without binder, we cannot apply pigments on the substrate. So binders are polymers. Those form a three-dimensional polymeric film on the fabric surface during polymerization, that is elevated temperature. And this is how binder film gets cross-linked with the textile substrate within the binder film and fiber substrate, the pigment particles are sandwiched. So they need binder for their fixation onto the fiber surface. Whereas if we see the dyes have affinity towards the fiber substrate. Dyes are water soluble or even insoluble also, and those can be made water soluble except dispersed dye. Dyes are held on fiber by dye-fiber interactive forces. So those can be hydrogen bond, covalent bond, van der Waals forces, ionic bonds, like that. Here you can see the classification of pigments. Pigments are basically divided into two categories, organic pigments and inorganic pigments. In case of organic pigments, we have polycyclic pigments, azo-based pigments, anthraquinone-based pigments, trialcarbonium pigments. In case of inorganic pigments, we are having white pigments, for example, titanium dioxide. Colored pigments, in that case, ultramarine, cadmium, iron oxide. So based on the metallic salts, we can have the pigment color. So here is the list of essential ingredients for pigment printing. In the paste, we need to have pigment as coloring matter, binder and fixers. As discussed earlier, binders are polymeric substances. Those form three-dimensional transparent smooth polymeric film after polymerization. Fixers also we add into the print paste to improve the rubbing fastness properties. If the binder is not having sufficient number of reactive groups, fixers are added to the print paste to improve the fastness properties, rubbing fastness especially. Urea also can be added as additional cross-linking agent so that we can have proper cross-linking of binder film with the textile substrate. Emulsion thickener or synthetic thickener to provide required viscosity to the print paste. And one more essential ingredient is catalyst, that is acid liberating agent. So some quaternary ammonium salts like ammonium chloride, ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate can be used as acid liberating agent, or diammonium phosphate is the widely used acid liberating agent in case of pigment printing. Presence of these acid liberating agents, binder forms polymeric film at given temperature. Now try to understand the properties of pigments. The shades which are produced by pigments should have good light fastness, washing fastness, gas fading, chlorine as well perspiration fastness, and especially rubbing fastness. So this is the requirement or pigment property of pigment. The emulsion techniques made by using the pigments should give sharp impressions, develop good brilliancy, and have good reproducibility. Pigments should be insoluble in water and dry cleaning solvents. The suitability of pigments depends on particle size distribution, degree of dispersion, electrical charge, specific gravity, crystal structure, and stability. These all factors affect on the brilliancy of pigments as well print properties of the pigments. Now let us see the types of binders. Acrylic based binders are there, vinyl based binders also are there. Generally for cotton we choose acrylic based binders. Styrene, butadiene, such binders also are there. These are generally preferred for printing on the synthetic substrate. Some commercial names of the binders are Acramine binder, SLN, Primal TR42, etc. Now let us see what are binders. Binders are generally high molecular weight film forming agents which are made up of derivatives of acrylic acid, vinyl acetate, styrene or butadiene, etc. Here you can see the cross-linking reaction between binder and fiber. So the representative structure of binder is binder CH2-OR, where R is the reactive group. When it reacts with cellulose, it also consists of hydroxyl groups, so it is represented as CelOH. At pH 3 and temperature, polymerizing temperature 135 to 150 degrees Celsius, the binder gets polymerized and it gets cross-linked with the textile substrate, that is cellulose. So here is the reaction: binder CH2-O-cell plus ROH. So here R is the reactive group and can be either methyl or hydrogen. So water or methyl alcohol generally gets released, which gets evaporated at this high temperature. So no remains are there. Binder film with proper transparency will remain at printed portion. Let us see the essential requirements of binder. So very first, the binder should form a three-dimensional transparent polymeric film on the textile substrate during polymerizing. Three-dimensional means it should cover entire pigment molecule and then only it will get cross-linked with the textile substrate. So length, height, width. By all means it should cover it. It should be transparent enough so that brightness of pigments will be protected, and it should be a polymeric film. The binder film must be clear, smooth, neither too hard nor too soft. This is the second requirement of binder. Film should be clear. It should be smooth so that the feel of fabric should not get affected. It should not be hard nor too soft also. Requirement of binder is it should be whatever film formed by binder, it should be elastic in nature, because we know that while wearing the garment it may get stretched in any direction in any way. So if the film is not elastic, if it is rigid, then there are chances that deformation of the pigment print may take place. So it should not get damaged, and that's why it should have proper elasticity. Next requirement is binder should not get coagulated during printing. If coagulation is occurring, means it will not give you uniformity while printing. Now generally what happens in case of Fevicol, we have seen, if you keep it open to atmosphere, it gets coagulated. If same case is happening here in case of pigment printing, at storage conditions, if the binder film in the pigment paste gets coagulated, then we may not get the uniformity while application of the paste. So it should not get coagulated during printing. Next is it should have minimum 60% on the weight of reactive groups into it. So it is recommended the binder should have minimum 60% on its own weight reactive groups in it. Then only we can ensure good quality of pigment printing. If less number of reactive groups means we may get less abrasion properties, or what we say rubbing fastness properties. The next requirement is it should have good resistance to chemical and mechanical stresses and should be readily removed from the engraving, screens, backgray fabric and the blanket. If the binder is not giving us good resistance to chemicals and mechanical stresses, what will happen? Again the pigment prints may get disturbed. So it should have good resistance to chemicals, especially dry cleaning solvents if any acid alkali is coming in contact with it in that case. And mechanical stresses means during washing. If we are carrying out machine washing, so many mechanical stresses are there. So the binder film should have good resistance towards all this. It should get removed from the engravings of the screens, backgray fabric and blanket. It should get washed off easily. Next ingredient of the pigment printing paste is Fixer CCl. Now basically Fixer CCl is nothing but urea formaldehyde pre-condensate. So combination of urea and formaldehyde. It is generally used in case of inferior quality of the binder. Now we have seen the requirement of binder that it should have minimum 60% reactive groups in it. But if the binder is of not good quality, in that case additionally we can add Fixer CCl or urea formaldehyde pre-condensate so that these will provide additional reactive groups for cross-linking and we can ensure good fastness property, especially rubbing fastness property. It provides additional reactive groups for cross-linking with the textile substrate. By the addition of Fixer CCl, rubbing fastness of pigment prints get improved. The fixation of pigment prints. The next step is generally it is done by carrying out polymerizing at 135 to 150 degrees Celsius and this process is carried out on stentor. As you can see in the image, in the stentor the fabric will be passed through the stentor at desired width and temperature. Timing also will be maintained. The passage will be maintained in such a way that the fabric will remain inside the stentor for the given dwell time at this temperature. So this is the formulations. General formulation. Pigment generally 10 to 50 gram concentration is chosen, 5% that is. Binder 30 to 100 gram. Now this pigment to binder ratio also does matter on the physical properties of fabric. Generally the ratio should be 1:3 to 1:5 to get optimum fastness properties and proper cross-linking. Urea 30 to 50 gram should be taken. Fixer CCl, if the binder is of not good quality, in that case we can add, this is optional. Even water is also optional to maintain the viscosity of print paste. Diammonium phosphate, as we have seen, that is acid liberating agent, 50 gram we can take the concentration. Emulsion or synthetic thickener can be taken remaining quantity so as to make the total paste 1000 gram, that is 1 kg. So the role of each and every ingredient is clear to you. Binder to pigment ratio or pigment to binder ratio should be 1:3 to 1:5. It should not exceed than that. Now let us see the post printing process. Once the fabric is printed, it has to be dried at 80 to 100 degrees Celsius and then after polymerizing or curing is done at 130 to 150 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 minutes. If the temperature is 135, we can pass the fabric for 5 minutes. If it is higher, that is 150 degrees Celsius, 3 minutes are sufficient for polymerizing. At this temperature, as we have seen earlier, binder gets polymerized and it gets cross-linked with the textile substrate so that sandwiching of pigment is done. So this is the general process sequence: printing using pigment paste, followed by drying, followed by polymerizing at this condition 135 to 150 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 minutes. Now this slide shows you the difference in pigment printing and normal printing using dyes. So as you can see here, pigment printing process, in this case fabric should be ready, the paste should be ready, printing process is done over here followed by curing, and then after the fabric is taken for finishing. Whereas in case of dyes printing, let us take an example of reactive dye. In case of reactive printing, see how many processes are involved. Fabric preparation is done, then paste preparation is done, followed by printing, then after steaming, followed by washing, then drying, and later on the fabric is taken for finishing. So it may take more than 2 to 3 days. And in case of pigment printing, the job can be done within 1 day. Let us see the advantages of pigment printing. The very first and biggest advantage is pigment is applicable to all fibers. So whatever may be the textile substrate, whether it is cotton, polyester, silk, nylon, acrylic, synthetic, natural, regenerated, whatever may be the textile substrate, pigments are applicable on all type of textile substrates. Second advantage is easy shade matching in case of blends also. So if polyester cotton blend is there, in that case also shade matching is easy. Generally in case of PC blends, what happens? We need to take dispersed dye, we need to take reactive dye combination, we need to see the tonal variation in the dyes. So all the precautions we have to take to get ultimate color yield after fixation. That is not the case in case of pigment. Single pigment will give you same tonal value on both the components. So easy shade matching we can achieve in case of blends too. Extensive color range is there with good light fastness properties. In case of pigment, variety of pigments are available, so we can produce any desired shade with that. The prints are brighter, no requirement of washing and after treatments is there. It gives us minimized load on effluent treatment plant because no washing after treatments are involved in this process. Hence, the process application is also easy. The application process is also easy. It is comparatively a short process, so less time consumption is there so that we can have good production. The process cost is low so that we can achieve good print economy. So these are the advantages associated with pigment printing. So here we can see the appearance of pigment printed fabric and the dyes printed fabric. We can see the brilliancy of pigments. But there are some limitations also of the pigment printing process because the prints appear on surface of the substrate only. It will not get penetrated like dyes into the textile substrate. So we can call it as a surface application only. We can have the color application only on the surface. Harsh or stiff feel at printed portion. Now this stiff feel or harsh feel is because of the binder film. Their drape properties at printed portion are getting changed. Wash and wear fastness properties like rubbing fastness is generally poor, which is totally dependent on the binder. So if binder chosen is of good quality, we can get good rubbing fastness property. If the binder only is of inferior quality, in that case rubbing fastness will definitely get affected. This is all about pigment printing. Thank you.